So this one is going to be straight from the hip, and it's on this topic because we're in the middle of football season. It just started. This season's going to go by quick, as they all do. Like literally, like it just goes by quick. So yeah, football season. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because in the past, the people I've spoken to, the people that asked me to help them out, they want to get in the best shape. They want to get their stuff together, which is great. What I've noticed is there's just this attachment, which is a distraction towards their goals. And that distraction is the love they have for their favorite sports team. All right. Well, in this situation, we're talking about football. And what I've noticed is they value the sports team, the football team. Sorry. They value the football team more than they value themselves. And I say this because when it comes to themselves, they don't put the same amount of effort. They don't have that same amount of self-love that they have for themselves. They don't have that same amount of effort for themselves, but when it comes to that team, like they're all in 1,000%. They're literally, they know the time, they know their schedule, they know what time they got to be ready. They go to the games, they spend money at the games, they go tailgating, or they have the event at their home, they go to someone else's home, they bring food. Like they're very punctual when it comes to their favorite sports team. We got to be there for the game. Now, I am not hating on football, basketball, baseball, soccer, whatever the sport is. I'm just giving you guys an example. Because when you put more love into a team, you want them to win. Literally, you want them to win. Why? It makes you feel good. You're rooting for a team, there's a competition, you have your favorite player that makes you feel a certain way, and you're rooting and you want them to win. Cool, nothing wrong with that. Here's the issue. What the heck is that? I don't know what the hell that is. That is so weird. Anyway, oh, it's the freaking light? Yeah, I think it's the light or a sign or something. Anyway, they literally want to win. Cool. Everybody wants to win in life too, right? They want to get that girl. I'm talking to the men here. They want to get that girl. They want to get that job. If they play sports themselves, they want to win. If they do some betting, they want to win. They invest in crypto. Guess what? Those earnings, that's a win. It's part of life, advancing, progressing, achieving, part of life. It makes us feel good. There's happiness, there's emotional euphoria, there is all sorts of types of benefits to yourself and your family and your friends and how people perceive you. And the list goes on and on. It's a beautiful thing to win. It's part of life. It's competitiveness. It's the polarity of doing good or doing bad, of advancing or regressing. It's the polarity of you're either growing or you're deteriorating. So it's natural to win. But what I've noticed is that sometimes people want their sports teams to win more than they want to win in their own life. It's like they gave up on themselves and it's all in on this team that's supposed to bring the emotions. So you're kind of giving your power away. You're giving your power away to an organization you don't own. You're giving your power away to an organization you have no say in. If they win and make a profit, they're not going to share their earnings with you, yet they take your time and your money, right? I've talked to people about coaching. Like they got to get a coach, they got to buy coaching, invest in themselves, and they won't pay for it. They don't want to invest in themselves. It's too much. I don't have time. But when it comes to that sports team, they have the money and they have the time. So it's a matter of priorities. And what you got to realize is sometimes people don't put themselves first as a priority. I was that person. Sometimes when it came to women, sometimes when it came to jobs, sometimes when it came to friends, boundaries, right? I didn't put myself as a priority. So I say this to say is that if you really want to change, if you really want to adapt, if you really want to, pivot and win in your own life, not just your sports team, your football team winning, but your own life. You win at your diet, your fitness, your physique. You're winning at, a job promotion or a business, a different career. You're winning at getting the girl that you want to date and meet and get to know. All these things, if you really want to win, cool. But make sure you want to win at yourself too. Make sure you're rooting for yourself. Make sure you root for yourself, cheer yourself on, and when things don't go your way, you get back up onto the practice field and you run another play. You get better. You watch your own film. You basically, work on your weaknesses, even work on your strengths. You root for that guy, that jersey you bought, and you wear their last name over your name, and you don't give yourself the same energy. So how do you expect people to respect you? How do you expect people to respond and receive you when you don't even root for you? When you're not even about you? When you're not even giving yourself energy? So this is a huge, huge pivot point I came to realize is that, look, I love this team. I love beautiful plays. I love when everything's in sync and grooving and working and functional. I love it. I love to watch it. But you know what? I could do it too. I could be excellent in my field. I could be excellent in my line of work, in my business, in my relationships, in my fitness. People who say, it's not all about the gym. It's not all about going to, getting jacked, and there's more to life. You got to enjoy life. But yet their favorite player, they're in shape. They wake up early. They hit the gym. They got a physique, and they love what they do. A lot of the guys I've spoken to, and hey, we all have to go through it. We're not enjoying what we're doing. We got to put in the grind. We got to put in the sacrifice. We got to go through some discomfort, and that's part of life. And basically, you're rooting for something you should be doing for yourself as well. And it's not necessarily playing the sport. It's not playing a sport. It's actually getting better at what you do, what your calling is. These guys, these athletes, they are living their dream. They are living their vision. They got an opportunity to play, right? For some people, it's the money. For some people, it's the love of the sport. The great ones is for the love of the game. I'll get to that on another video. So when it comes to all this New Year's resolutions and I'm going to change and I need to do this, I need to do that, which is good. We got to self-reflect. We got to self-analyze, which is good. But are you putting the same attention to detail to yourself like you do to a team you don't own? You own you. Your body is a temple. It's the only thing you got. You're born with it and you're going to die with it. Everything else, the universe lets you use. Even your body lets you use, but you get to keep that more intact, which is another story for another time. But take care of what you got. You take care of you. That's where you start. Everything else is the extension, right? You root for you. You want to win in those areas. We all do. It's in our DNA. We want to win in our relationships with friends, with the girl, with the wife, the girlfriend, fiance, whatever. We want to win, in our business or our line of work, our craftsmanship, our certification, our professionalism. We want to win. We want to excel. We want to advance. We want to make more money, which is great, beautiful. But root for you. Get detailed about you. Put in the time. Put in the effort. Right? And that's what's missing. It's more energy on a sports team, football team you don't own, you don't know, you don't have a say in. But yet when it comes to you, the energy is just not there. So I'm going to leave it at that. Something to wonder about. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Again, so I'll leave it at this. This is probably part one of a huge series. a huge series. It's something that needs to be talked about because it can go for anything. But right now, since it's football season, you know, people have the jerseys, people have the, you know, people have the time, people have the money for the tickets, which is great, you know. But when it comes to that fitness, right, it doesn't have to be the gym. Just making time for yourself when it's time to get on that diet. You know, it's going to be New Year's, right? But what's going on the first 2 months of the new year? You got the playoffs, right? Then you got the Super Bowl. So it's just a setup for the same thing of I want to change, but then I keep doing the same thing. So I'm not saying to stop hating on your team. I'm not saying to start, you know, bashing your team and quitting. What I am saying is start being more aware of what you're putting your time and energy and focus into, right? And especially when it's more outside of you than yourself, because no one's going to love you like you love you. No one's going to cheer for you like the way you cheer for you. No one's going to support you like the way you're going to support you. And for all my faithful followers of faith, of universal just mystery, magic, consciousness, it's like we tell the universe, hey, I put my focus into here rather than myself. I put my love, focus, time, and energy into this group, this entity, this organization over me. So what you put out is what you get. We learning, we moving. Oh, we're gonna be winning. All right, on to the next. Peace.